Hey guys, happy Friday! A couple of quick things before I get to the other geeks and the second part of the magic stuff. In honor of the 15-year anniversary of the American publication of Harry Potter, new art for the covers of the paperbacks are being released, and I haven't quite figured out if I like the art or not, and I can't even quite pinpoint why I wouldn't, but I was wondering if anyone had an actual opinion on the new art versus the older art. And a Firefly tabletop game is in the works where you're the captain of a Firefly and you have to find jobs and assemble a crew to do those jobs in order to upgrade your ship and keep it flying. I'll put a link below, it sounds awesome. So Steph told us about her stint as a weeboo and asked if we were ever part of that culture or if we did anything else embarrassing in public. I was obsessed with Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z when I was younger, but I never actually delved into the weeboo side of things. But I did actually end up being a weeboo for a skit at Anime Vegas a couple of years ago for Steph and for our friend Jen. And I didn't know what it was when they asked me to do it, but I ended up putting together this ridiculous outfit. But I did do plenty of embarrassing things in public for the entertainment of my friends. Because Steph showed off her awesome dance skills, the main thing I remember doing was a dance from Angel. They spent a few episodes in this alternate universe called Pylea, where demons are in charge and they have dances to express things, and one of the dances is the Dance of Joy. Unfortunately, there's no music for this dance, so I'm gonna attempt to put something epic sounding underneath to make this look less lame. But fun fact, the demon that does that in the background of the scene is actually Joss Whedon, so kinda cools it up a little bit. So Pyro asked us what our favorite pairing from a series is, and I was actually thinking about this for a really long time and I'm still stuck between one from Buffy and one from Firefly because they're both pretty intense, so I guess I'll just give you both of them. In Buffy, it has to be Buffy and Spike because their entire relationship was explosive and depressing and hilarious and touching and covered such a wide range of feelings that I can't help but love it. And in Firefly, it has to be Jane and his guns because you can't argue with a love that deep. As Mario said, Luluko is throwing up a storm, so she couldn't be with us, but I hope she has an amazing weekend at Katsucon and all of her panels go as wonderfully as the last ones did. And Mario, my brain couldn't quite handle that video of Batman singing. I thought it was gonna be a fan thing where they just made it look like he was singing, but no, it was Batman singing, and I can't believe I haven't seen that before. So Mario said my Magic the Gathering basics were pretty easy to follow, which is very good to know because it was my first tutorial-like thing that I've ever done, and I know I suck at teaching, so I was a bit worried. No, division means how many of this number can fit into that number. Yes, I know this number is bigger. That's why decimals exist. Why don't you understand what I understand? So on to Magic Part 2. So in this part of the Magic the Gathering series of things that I'm doing, I'm going to be going over the different colors and some of their special abilities. Disclaimer, I'm still not an expert. There are 5 colors in Magic represented on the back of each card and by the basic lands. White, blue, black, red, green. Each color has different strengths and weaknesses, so building a deck is half personal preference and half strategy. I'm most familiar with black and red cards, so I'm gonna go over those first. Black cards tend to deal in death and regeneration, so a lot of the creatures are like zombies and vampires, and a lot of the spells deal with putting cards into the graveyard, taking cards out of the graveyard, or sometimes just stealing life directly from your opponent. Some of the special creature characteristics are Deathtouch, Lifelink, and Flying. Any creature attacking or defending against a creature with Deathtouch dies. But if the opposing creature is stronger, the creature with Deathtouch dies along with it. If your creature has lifelink, any damage done by that creature is added to your life points, effectively stealing life from your opponent. Kinda like a Dementor. If a creature has flying, it can only be blocked by other flying creatures or cards specifically designed to block flying. No, 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 no. Next is red, which deals more in chaos and fury, so it's more straightforwardly aggressive than black. One of the special abilities on some of my red creatures is Intimidate, which means they can't be blocked except by creatures of the same color. No, 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 damn it! And a lot of the red spells just deal damage directly to a player. I'm not as familiar with the rest of the colors and some of their abilities, so if I do say something wrong that you notice, please feel free to leave a comment below correcting me, and I'll type it into the description later. Continuing around the color wheel, next is green, which deals in life and adaptability, so a lot of the spells return life points to the player. And the creatures sometimes have abilities that make them a bit more durable, like Hexproof and Trample. A creature with Hexproof can't be affected by an opponent's spells. No. And a creature with Trample, if blocked by a weaker creature, deals the remaining damage directly to the player. Ow. Next is white, which deals a lot in healing and protection, so it's a really good defensive color. Some white creatures also have the Lifelink ability, but one of its most frustrating abilities is protection. Similar to Hexproof, but much more annoying. Protection makes a creature basically impervious to any damage dealt by a specified type of card, or sometimes an entire color. Enchantment. No. Sorcery. No. Instant. No. No. I will kill the things you love! Another common white ability is Vigilance, but it's hard to explain that one without going into gameplay, so I'm gonna cover that one later. The last color on the wheel is blue, which deals mainly in manipulation and trickery. A lot of the spells allow a player to draw more cards, take control of an opponent's cards, or immediately negate all damage. The creatures are generally weaker, but they sometimes have ability like flying and hexproof to help them out. But the spells are really the strength of the blue cards. So I know in my last video I said I would go over colors and building a deck this time, but I realized that would make a video way too long, so I'm gonna save building a deck until next time. But I hope this time was a bit more entertaining than the first one, because I would like to inform and not bore people to death. So if you are still alive and you haven't done it already, don't forget to like our Facebook page if you want another way to communicate with us and get news from us and whatnot. We are working on a cover photo, so hopefully sometime soon it'll look less derp and blank at the top. But I hope you all have an awesome weekend, stay geeky, and we'll see you next week. So I'm gonna save build and a lot of the reds. Whoa.